guys, welcome back to episode number 3 of the SaaS CMO show. Today I am joined with Olga from Better Proposals. How you doing?
Hi Joseph, hi everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Awesome. So look, let's kind of kick things off straight away. A question that I always like kind of asking, CMOs and stuff is, what actually made you get into marketing? What is it that initially kind of and I guess ignited that spark for marketing in general?
Right. Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I would say it's a combination of factors, really. So one of them goes back to the time when I was actually in Texas. So I've stayed in the United States for a year when I was 15 years old.
Wow.
And I stayed with with the host family, and my sister Sarah. She's been in this advertising space, so she's been actually studying advertisement and marketing in the university. So I remember like that was yesterday. I was driving to Oklahoma City for this advertising contest, and we were carrying this airplane seat with us in a car. Yeah. So that's something to remember, So that they were supposed to use as some kind of a prop for their advertisement pitch, yeah. Right? So I've been at that contest and I enjoyed it so much. And back in Ukraine, in the country where I'm originally from, we didn't have anything like that back then. So that was one of the reasons that actually made me start my marketing career. And I guess another one would be my entrepreneurial mindset. And as I was studying at the university, I guess I've studied every possible business that I could at the time. So that was kind of like my side hustle, right? Yeah. So I would do the travel agency with one of my friends, and then event agency with another. And then I've done the marriage agency, and then I graduated from the university. I've started the dance studio. Wow. So all sorts of stuff, all sorts of small businesses. Yeah. And then at some point I just realized that I guess the cash wasn't like flowing in that much, like from these little businesses. And then I just decided to join this IT industry, which was on the rise back then, maybe like 10 years ago. But I really didn't want to become like a developer or something like that. So I've chosen something on the edge. So the marketing person, the online marketing, I mean, you can do the software marketing, like for a software company or for SaaS. So that's kind of like a combination of a trendy industry and also the things that I like.
Yeah, so it kind of is that perfect combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Makes sense. And what, have you always been in B2B? Have you ever kind of crossed into B2C roles? Or has it always been like you've had a passion for B2B marketing?
Not really. In fact, I must say that Chanty is my second company, my second B2B company. And then Better Proposals, the company I'm currently with, is my third. So I just really started the B2B niche, so to say, maybe like 3 years ago. So not really for super long. So actually I started as a pay-per-click specialist, then I went on to SEO, and then marketing manager, and then project management, and then that brought me to Chanty. So with Chanty, I actually had to learn how to do all of this B2B SaaS marketing from the scratch.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense. And I guess kind of like, because I know you've literally just moved over to Better Proposals. So if we kind of focus on Chanty, like what were some of the things that you kind of helped them implement to kind of help them guys grow? What were some of the strategies that you were kind of using?
Right. Well, I've joined Chanty when there was no actually Chanty, so we've done everything from scratch, right? So we went from zero to 10,000 users to 10,000 teams eventually. So yeah, it's well, I always say that you have to find this one channel that works for you, but it's not always easy to find that one channel, right? So at the moment, we kind of found this content marketing idea appealing to us. So we've tried that. We were inspired by I don't know if you know this Groove blog. It's a super cool. I mean, by that time, like 3 years ago, it was a super cool example of the B2B SaaS content marketing efforts, and we were just so inspired by that. So we kind of tried to repeat their success in our own way. And so I would say we've done it in our own way, but it's just that ours was a little different. So what we went after were the high intent keywords, right? Because I've been in SEO before, and I started my my marketing, my marketing research from a keyword research, obviously. So we kind of like wanted to figure out who we were as Chanty, like who Chanty actually is. Are we the like a team collaboration app, or maybe we are a business communication chat? What should we be? So I've been doing this keyword research, and accidentally I came across this Slack alternative keyword, and it made me think, hey, this is super high intent keyword, right? Because like people looking for team communication tools are actually looking for a list of tools, and that includes Slack. So once they get to that list and they see Slack number one, because every other list for like team communication tools starts with Slack these days, and they're like, oh, Slack, of course, I've heard about that, so I'll just go with Slack. Which is no good. I mean, it doesn't leave Slack's competitor any chance, right? But then like when people are actually looking for Slack alternatives, they are unhappy about Slack for some reason already, like whatever it is. And so what we've done, we've put together an article about that. And it wasn't just this boring kind of article with like one paragraph for each alternative and the price in the end. It was more of like our team's feedback. So we've actually used every single tool, which was Slack alternative, for a week or so. And we've written our feedback on that. We've also shared our thoughts on things. We've done the voting for that for every single tool, like how easy it is to use, how easy it is to start, and things like that. So pretty much adding human touch to an article. Then we kind of like added the call to actions. So for instance, say, okay, so when we talk about these tools and we say, hey, you know, like Slack doesn't have voice messages. And then, oh, Microsoft Teams doesn't have voice messages as well. But guess what? Chanty has voice messages, right? So, you know, why don't you, like, if you have a team on the go, why don't you go ahead and give Chanty a try? So that was kind of the way, the subtle way to trigger them, you know, trigger their signups on our blog post. So yeah, then like we kind of enriched those blog posts with backlinks. That was also like a big strategy. I've written lots of articles about how we've done that. And we started seeing great results, like people would convert at 10% on an article like that. So we just kind of like extrapolated that, and we've done lots of other high intent keywords, and we've compared our competitors and all sorts of articles like that. And pretty much that single strategy brought us the result that we achieved so far.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, especially kind of using the Slack alternative, because I think what a lot of, you know, software, you know, people that I speak to, founders, it's, you know, a lot of people that are using certain softwares are really, really unhappy, and they're constantly looking for new softwares that can, you know, make their life more efficient, make certain parts in their business more efficient. So I think that's a really interesting strategy that a lot of founders are perhaps not really thinking about, and they're more focused on just trying to, you know, come up with new software ideas rather than actually leveraging current competitors that have already got audiences.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just that like if you're going to try to do that, like you have to watch out, because lots and lots of people are already doing that. And we kind of made this approach too popular with all of these articles on the topic. So I've started seeing, and to tell you the truth, the keyword difficulty, like if you're using Ahrefs, you're familiar with that term, keyword difficulty for Slack alternatives, it's grown from, I think, 10 to something in between 20 and 30 for the moment. So people would just start repeating what we were doing and yeah, they would just do the same. But yeah, I mean, it's still a good approach, and it was a great approach by that time.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. So was that kind of one of the main ways that in the early days that kind of helped you guys get that initial traction? Was that one of the main strategies that you guys used?
Yeah, I would say so. And I mean, even today, we still have lots of competitors to cover, and lots of keywords that are left without attention, right? So
Yeah.
it's actually a strategy that could go on for years. And yeah, I would say so. It's the major it's been a major channel for us. Yeah.
Okay. And were you guys doing any like PPC work, or is it just mostly kind of organic SEO kind of intensive?
Yeah, surprisingly, we've never done PPC.
Wow.
You know, we were kind of waiting for the market fit to be there, and to kind of like improve the activation rates on the first place. And then we thought, like, once we are good with that, then we're going to run PPC to kind of like you know, support our marketing efforts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we haven't done PPC.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. I think too many companies, especially in the SaaS space, they jump to PPC at day one before they even got product market fit, and
Yeah.
they're just blowing money down the drain when they don't really know if it's actually gonna, you know, if it's what the audience want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we just kind of like decided that we don't really want to waste money, because I mean, yeah, we would attract 100 leads, and then what? They're gonna leave, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we had to make sure that people who come to the product, they actually stay first, right? And then kind of like add up other channels.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. And
Yeah.
you know, I always ask this question: what if you know, let's say theoretically we've got a new startup, right? It's a new B2B SaaS startup. They started literally this week. What advice would you give, you know, to the CMO, to the founder?
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give them in terms of, you know, launching a marketing strategy? If you had to kind of, you know, step by step to launching a campaign, what advice would you give them?
Right. So interesting. I would say that I still advise to find that perfect, prominent marketing channel for you that brings traction, right? So, but the question is like, how do you find it?
Yeah.
Back then, when I started with Chanty, it was kind of like more intuition based, right? So we were thinking, oh, we can do this and we can do that, but hey, we've seen Groove doing content marketing, so let's go after content marketing. Yeah. While later on, I've came across this interesting framework that's called Bullseye framework. I'm not sure if you've heard of that. And what it does, it actually helps you evaluate the different traction channels and your ideas, like of like how to market your product and how to get this first traction. So basically, it's evaluating this 19 traction channels. You can actually Google that. I mean, the Bullseye framework and the 19 traction channels, there are things out there. Lots of articles are written about that. And basically what you do is you brainstorm the ideas for every 19 traction channels. And then you kind of like rank them. So which one do you think or like you feel is going to get most ROI, right? Yeah. So like what's going to be most effective in these terms. And then once you understand, like once you see that, okay, so like you rank those, and then you kind of like take the first, like the top 3, and then you just test them. So you run a small test. So basically, if you rank that, like your first 3 are like PPC, for example, or SEO or content marketing. So you just go ahead and you write this one article, you make it rank for this one keyword, and you see if it brings you any results, right? And if it does, like it happened with us and Slack Alternative, you just kind of expand your effort and you scale it, right? And then like the same with PPC, like if you're doing just one little campaign, just start small, start with one campaign, and then see if it works. And if it does, again, scale it. Same with SEO and like other traction channels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's a good approach to take, and I wish I knew that when I started out, but well, now I do. I can recommend that.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I do think a lot of, again, going back to that, a lot of kind of startups, they kind of throw stuff at the wall a bit too much without really, strategizing different channels, and it's all a bit messy in the starting days, which is completely understandable. But that is something that I've not personally heard of, but it's something that I will definitely be looking into. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it helps.
And obviously, I know you've kind of just recently made the transition from Chanty to Better Proposals. So what are kind of what kind of walk me through where them guys are currently at right now, and kind of how you're looking to kind of help them further down the road.
Right. So yeah, Better Proposals is very different. So I'm not starting from scratch here, and lots of processes that are already set up, and of course I have to get used to some of the things. And well, at the moment there are about like more than 6,000 paying customers all over the world. So doing pretty good, I would say. But yeah, of course, I'm here to grow it. And yeah. Mm-hmm. So as for things that we are currently working on, as I mentioned, this framework, right, before my previous answer, we've also used that for Better Proposals to find out like what kind of channel we should use it. Although Better Proposals is not like a startup anymore, right? So we're not looking for initial attraction, but we are instead looking for the ways to kind of like grow it further. But anyway, it works for that stage as well. So we found that the outbound marketing is something that we haven't been paying much attention to. And with the product market fit that Better Proposals has at the moment, it sounds like a really good channel, really promising channel to give a try. So that's what we're going to be giving a try too, definitely. And also the content marketing, since that is my expertise basically, right, that I brought from Chanty. Definitely want to implement that, and I see lots of potential with that, and lots of room for improvements in these terms. And of course, we are going to double down on the things that already work for Better Proposals for now, like SEO, for instance. So yeah, so these are the plans, and apart from that, we'll be also working on improving every stage of the funnel, right? So we'll make sure that like every conversion rate and even micro conversion is improved and optimized. So maybe it's a website conversion rate or the sign up rate and so on. So maybe we're going to be doing some improvements on the website. And also, of course, it's really important to keep optimizing your product, right? To make the onboarding as seamless as possible. And make sure that the user's journey is also pleasant.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. And going back to I know you mentioned you're looking to kind of see, a kind of testing like an outbound campaign. Is that kind of using like an account-based marketing approach? Is that what you guys are doing? Or?
Yeah, we're kind of like still thinking about it and still experimenting a little. So maybe we will try some of LinkedIn at this moment. We don't really know. Maybe some email marketing. But like what we want to do, like the last thing we want to do is to spam people, right, with stuff. So we want to take a personal approach and kind of like make every outreach as much personal as we possibly can.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, awesome. Well, look, it's been a really, really, really insightful talk. I think the bullseye framework for me has been kind of one of the biggest takeaways. It's just something that I think a lot of companies can do, especially when they're starting out, to really quickly identify them winning channels.
Yeah, definitely should Google that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What on a kind of last note then, what's kind of, I always ask this, what's your goal over the next kind of 3 years, whether it's growing, helping grow Better Proposals. It can literally be anything in terms of, your business kind of, marketing life.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Well, obviously, I do want to help better proposals out, and I'm really interested in making this business grow because, I mean, Adam, the founder, is really a great guy, and he's just not just a founder, my boss. He's just also my mentor and my friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to help better proposals and to see the company grow. But then maybe with time, the ultimate goal is still to kind of implement my ambition and to have something of my own, whether it's marketing agency or my own SaaS company or something similar.
Got it. Makes perfect sense. Well, look, awesome. It's been really, really awesome speaking to you. I hope you've enjoyed coming on. Yeah.
Thank you very much. um, yeah, so thanks very much for having me, and I'm wishing good luck to you and to everyone who listens to this podcast. And
Awesome.
I hope that you can grow your startup so it becomes the next big thing.
I appreciate that. Awesome. Okay, guys, I hope you've really, really enjoyed this podcast. Olga has been an amazing guest, and I will see you guys next week for episode number 4 of the SaaS CMO show.